Good morning, good afternoon. We were hoping to have our first Instagram live with this platform, but the configuration didn't work because that's a new feature that they gave us. Finally, it was from the side of Instagram. They opened their platform to people to be able to stream without one specific application. But that did not work. And this is the world of technology. Anyhow, we'll continue. We are streaming on different platforms. Just say hi. I'll get Tay to check on him. He's been sick for a while. So let's check on Tay. Hey, Tay.
Good afternoon, Rudy. Good afternoon, everyone watching us on Cryptotalks.
How have you been and how is everything on your side? And noting that you're on the other side of town. So
All is well, Rudy. All is well. It is as we are approaching end of the year. We're seeing how the whole cryptocurrency market performed this year. So definitely next week we're gonna do a wrap up for 2023 on major developments, whether it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, or others. And yeah, it's I would say it's an exciting year. It was a unexpected turn of events, especially towards quarter four, where we saw Bitcoin breaking the psychological level of $40,000 per Bitcoin. Major surprise was as well from Solana. As I'm watching now, Solana, it's approaching the $80 mark. So when we started the crypto talks in the beginning of this year in 2023, Solana was hovering, I think, around 8, 10, 12, $20 between that range, and now it's sitting at $80. Otherwise, we're hoping there is no new wave of COVID, although the number of infections, at least here in Europe, uh, is
it seems it's rising. Yeah.
it's rising, it's picking up. I had as well COVID the past 2 weeks, but I believe there is a new future for crypto starting next year with the halving, with the ETFs, and with the few news that we picked up this week, and they will continue with us for next year.
Indeed, that's very interesting to learn and see what's happening in that world. Um yeah. So anyhow, we'll continue as normal and as planned. I don't know if Sandy is here with us today, missing in action. Um, or actually, she's all right. Anyhow, so let's go with our normal agenda and then try to see what is happening. There's a lot as we spoke. As usual, be careful of any fraud that has been happening, especially on the ledger. Now we're seeing more and more alerts on the ledger. Be careful what application you install. And there was a very specific application that if you are a ledger user, please do remove it. You have received an email in your inbox. Please do check it because it's a critical alert, uh, so that you know you can be able to uh, um, not fall a victim or have an issue in this space. So watch out. Tomorrow, before tomorrow, don't forget to join our platforms on any platform you want. We are there, and you can listen, you can read, you can uh, join us, you can participate in questions and answers, or send us any requests. We're there for you. Um, don't forget our second MENA Top 25. January is the last month for nomination, and based on that, we will be selecting. I'll be tomorrow a host of Metaverse Fashion Council, the Fashion Metaverse Summit, talking about the world of NFTs, joined by Salman Halawi from EU MENA events for the first also metaverse event that will be happening in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in September. So if you're interested in any metaverse event in Saudi, please talk to me on that front. I'll be with the team. We have Tano and Zara, who are really leaders on the fashion, NFT, digital, physical, everything related to that. Some great talks in the metaverse tomorrow. So make sure to check out. I'll send the registration link also in the description and on our social media. So with that, I'll leave it to you, Tay, to take it forward from here.
Thank you, Rudy. Good afternoon, everyone watching us at Crypto Talks. It's week 51, and we're quickly approaching towards end of the year. It has been a remarkable year in the world of crypto, with Bitcoin breaking, I would say, new highs for this year, approaching $45,000. The year is not finished yet. We might see a rally in the last 10 days of this year. As we mentioned in the beginning of the talk, Solana was a major gainer, at least in December. Um, it was perhaps an unexpected rally in general. We go back in time with the viewers. It all started with the false news of the SEC approving a spot Bitcoin ETF. And later it was discovered that this was fake news, but it gave the spark for a Bitcoin rally that saw an influx of capital into Bitcoin through exchanges, through OTC desks, and this influx of capital as well came into other cryptocurrencies. Solana was again under the spotlight. Let's put it in that way. As a major competitor for Ethereum, it's approaching the $80 as we speak. Next week we're gonna have a 2023 round trip on what happened specifically on Bitcoin, and we're gonna as well share what are the 15 top predictions from Van Eck. Van Eck is one of the players that is applying for a Bitcoin spot ETF, and we're gonna like we're gonna see how this will whether their prediction will come true, because one of their predictions for 2024 is that let me pull the list out, and it is actually prediction number 12 that Solana will outperform Ethereum with a resurging DeFi total value locked, or TVL. With this, we can, Rudy, start the news for this week, starting from Tether. Tether, the company that is running the stablecoin USDT. What is interesting about Tether lately, they have been, at least since Binance had its legal troubles with the regulator, especially in the United States, Tether has taken a stance on being or involving the regulator more and more in its operations. Um, Tether made a move this year as well by appointing the new CEO. The CTO of Tether became the CEO of Tether. And now Tether, the largest stablecoin issuer, they want to have a world-class partner. And who did they decide to add at this world-class partner? They went for the FBI, the Secret Service, and the United States Department of Justice, or the DOJ. Now, Adding the United States Department of Justice, the FBI, and the Secret Service to the platform, this will give direct supervision or direct access to the Tether operations, and it will facilitate more and more um, it will facilitate more and more law enforcement authorities to freeze assets as they see needed with the support of the United States Department of Justice. Now, of course, this is coming as Tether saying we're committed to prevent illicit use of USDT. And in fact, they have frozen $435 million for United States Department of Justice. But this this will help Tether and its partners, namely the Secret Service and the FBI, to expand the sanction control to the secondary market. And this is personally what worries me, that with the extensive cooperation of the global law enforcement agencies, we might see more and more Tether being frozen. And perhaps it can be influenced as well politically, since we know that those two major players, United States Department of Justice, FBI, and the Secret Service, are from the United States camp. So if we have a party that is not politically aligned with those players, since they are now in the Tether business, there might be, or people in against the camp of the United States, they should be more and more worried on using Tether. Tether has frozen 800 million USDT in secondary market addresses, and most of those addresses were associated with hacks, with thefts, as per the letter. And the Tether has helped the Department of Justice with 68 different requests by freezing 188 wallets that hold approximately 70 million USDT. Um, this is a major alert for people in, let's say, Middle East holding Tether to reconsider this position, and perhaps switch to Bitcoin as a preferred method of storage and give minimum exposure to Tether, because we know that the political influence of the United States can affect the crypto company Tether and its USDT. Second news that we covered for this week is coming from the SEC, and they're trying now to um, play a lot. I mean, when we say they, we're talking traders, crypto holders, crypto speculators. The speculation on a yes no answer regarding the SEC giving a definite direction on spot ETFs and the approval for a Bitcoin spot ETF. This major speculative event is what crypto speculators is after. And one news came this week where the SEC delayed the decision on Hashdex and Grayscale Ethereum focused ETFs. Now, there are multiple ETF applications related to Bitcoin that we will hear about them on January 10 or January 11. There might be delays, and this will fuel the speculative push on the price, whether on uptrend or a downtrend in the coming days. And our next news for this week that we picked was as well a regulatory loss on Coinbase. Coinbase has been trying lately a lot to communicate with the SEC on a new on a new introduction for a set of rules that can govern the digital asset sector. The SEC has rejected the Coinbase petition, and the cryptocurrency company Coinbase is gonna challenge this decision in court. The vote was 3-2 against a new set of rules because it fundamentally disagreed that the current regulations are unworkable for the crypto sphere. This is what Coinbase has argued for. The major event that shook the cryptocurrency market this year, with FTX going down, was the aftermath of FTX. How are we going to move forward with such a large amount of debt that is owed to cryptocurrency holders, investors, and so on? There seems some light towards end of the tunnel, and there is an announcement that was shared this week in an update where the uh, the debtors, they're coming to an agreement and a global settlement with the official liquidators on behalf of FTX Digital Markets, which is run by the Bahamas branch. Um, this is, I think, a good end for the FTX story. It is not a very happy ending, but it's a good ending, at least better than the MTGOX debacle that happened, if we want to say. Um, but of course, this needs to be approved, of course, by the United States Bankruptcy Court in Delaware. And what was interesting is mostly FTX users who did not have claims pending with court will be paid in US dollar for losses in cash or digital assets, except non-fungible tokens. And eligible users with claims, they can vote on this reimbursement plan in the second quarter of 2024. Until now, there are assets that are being seized, and every now and then we hear debtors from FTX, they are regularly filing motions with the bankruptcy court so that they can sell off the company assets and repay creditors. Until today, a judge, or the judge, has signed off on the sale of Ledger X, $873 million of trust assets, $3.4 billion in digital assets, and the settlement between FTX and Genesis. And the last piece of news that we picked up for this week as well, where it was I wouldn't say a sad ending, but it was a quit from the Ethereum proof of work team, the core team behind Ethereum proof of work that has been advocating for the core network of Ethereum when it split back in time. And the Ethereum proof of work core team has quit, and they're citing this reason for a more decentralized approach for their ongoing efforts. And the implications on the crypto community means that stepping forward, Ethereum proof of work blockchain will rely on the community to uh, to be managed and to be developed, and the community will be watching closely to see how this experiment will unfold. It is under the cloud of decentralization, but personally I'm skeptical of that reason. And this will have some implications, I think, on the Ethereum proof of work blockchain. Now, any type of blockchain, there are core teams, centralized teams that take care of managing and expanding this technology. And in case of Ethereum proof of work, it lost it. Hopefully that the community will come together and pick up this project. This was the major news for this week. Rudy, we can go back to you.
Great day. Thank you a lot for the update. I think this week is crazy. I just have one thing that many people have asked me. What does ETF mean? What is BlackRock Bitcoin ETF? Not how can they start? What are they missing? How can they invest?
Okay. What is the Bitcoin ETFs? Bitcoin ETFs are um, okay. We have to think of it as a pool of Bitcoin related assets. So they're a pool of Bitcoins offered on traditional exchanges by brokers for investors. The intent behind an ETF is to give the exposure to Bitcoin. So Rudy, through his broker and through his Rudy, sorry, as a certified investor, and through his broker, he can buy Bitcoin without owning it.
So they will
So
not be owning anything.
they will be owning a piece of paper that would say Rudy owns one Bitcoin from or one Bitcoin, and this paper is issued by a traditional exchange like BlackRock, like FunEck. So those are financial institutions. They're heavily regulated, and this perhaps what gives the confidence for certified big investors to come and start buying Bitcoin. Of course, it is better to buy Bitcoin directly and own it directly in your hands. But there are a lot of people, and especially, I would say, sophisticated investors, they are aware of the risks of owning Bitcoin directly, losing their private keys, getting hacked, and so on. So they prefer a, I would put between quotations, a professional to do this. And in this case, a professional is a regulated financial institution where this sophisticated investor can sleep good at night and know that if something happens to this investment company, it will be under the supervision and it will be under the regulation of a financial regulator.
Okay.
This
So it will be listed on maybe Nasdaq, maybe something
exactly.
else. This
Yes,
is
yes,
what using the tools that they use, usually MT something or
yes,
using a broker. Just I'm
yes.
just getting because I need to educate people, and this is really getting me a lot
Yeah.
of questions on this. Now there's a third question, which is that's not a question, but because I remember Coinbase is teaming up with BlackRock. Why should Coinbase team up with BlackRock? Is it from exchange side or as a custodial wallet for? Is that something different from the ETFs also?
Yes.
Uh, should they be buying Bitcoins as a better way because in the current ETFs they will not be holding Bitcoins. Maybe Coinbase is offering something different. Can you explain this different confusion?
So, of course, now uh, we go back again to the example where Rudy is a sophisticated investor. He's approaching a financial institution that has ETFs listed in its platform on its exchange. For the regulator, for this regulated company, and I'm trying not to mention names, to offer a Bitcoin ETF, one of the conditions is that the company needs to own the Bitcoin. You cannot issue ETFs out of thin air. You should own the Bitcoins, and the Bitcoins that the company owns, they can give exposure or they can give this piece of paper to the sophisticated investor and tell him now you own Bitcoin. So the company needs a place to store the Bitcoin. And since Coinbase is the largest custodial and the safest and the most secure and is in the United States, so it was logical for BlackRock to partner up with Coinbase and say to Coinbase, hey, you're gonna hold custody of our Bitcoins. We're gonna buy, let's say, 1,000 Bitcoin as BlackRock, and we're gonna custody this 1,000 Bitcoin in Coinbase. And from there, we will give ETF exposure to our investors. Now, why this is important to Bitcoin? Because the global ETF market in 2003, it was $204 billion. In 2022, the ETF market is 9.6 trillion US dollar. The majority of this assets under management of ETFs is heavily saturated in North America, which accounts for 4.5 trillion US dollars of the global total. So ETFs can bring too much liquidity to the crypto markets. And since those large institutions, they deal with trillions of dollars, when they want to come and purchase Bitcoin, we know, and the viewers at Cryptotalks who watched us the past 2 years, a topic that we talked about a lot, we all know that we have a shortage of Bitcoin today in the market. The shortage is coming from the Bitcoin halving that will start in April 2024, but the shortage as well happens because of lost Bitcoins, lost seed phrases, lost passwords. So actually, the amount of Bitcoin in circulation today, in liquid circulation in the market, is very less than what we think. Um, I'm not sure of, I don't have the numbers on my head now, but the last time that we checked on those numbers, it was around 6 million Bitcoins. Those are what people are trading. But the rest of the, I would say, 15, 14 million, those, there is percentage of them lost. There is percentage of them that we can never recover. There is people holding, and there is the Satoshi Bitcoins that have never moved until today. So it's a very um, it's a very interesting event for Bitcoin, because gold also has an ETF market, and the gold ETF market is as well big, and if we're gonna compare the gold ETF market to the Bitcoin ETF market, this is where the similarities and the price and the liquidity can give us an indication on the price rally that we can see. And this price rally is majorly focused now on the fact that for a spot Bitcoin ETF to happen, the financial institutions issuing those spot ETFs, they need to acquire the Bitcoin, they need to have it. And if there is so much scarcity today in the market, then it will reflect on the price definitely.
Very interesting. Thank you, Tay. Don't forget to join us on our social media and share this video and share it, especially because there's some new news about the ETF and how you can benefit from this. We'd like to wish you, from my side, there's, I think, some comments. We'd like to wish you a great season, a great Christmas within the coming week. Next week, it will be a kind of a wrap up of the year,
Yes.
as we mentioned, to understand more what's happening. Thank you, Lama. Yes, ETF is something that will be dominating, I think, the topics of everything we'll be talking about. We don't know about the behaviors, but
The
take quick
most
question: Bitcoin or ETF? Would you get a Bitcoin
no,
or
no,
ETF?
I would definitely my advice always is to own Bitcoin and
Yeah,
not own, you can own the ETF, but first have your Bitcoin in your wallet.
indeed.
Um, it's good that we're gonna see this decision in January 11. It will not be like December 2024, where we're gonna live 1 year in speculation. This is happening January 11, 2024. There are two outcomes, or actually, there could be three outcomes for this event. One, we have an approval. Two, we have a denial. Three, it will be postponed again. No matter what is the case, I believe a Bitcoin ETF is inevitable. It's going to happen. And combine this with the Bitcoin improvements that we're going to see next year, combined as well with the upcoming halving. There is a there is a very important crypto event to take place. I advise everyone watching next week to join us because we're going to have a wrap up of the year. But most importantly, something that I'm very excited about is to share with you the 15 predictions from FunEck. And usually their predictions are on par. In the past years as well, they had more or less the same results. If you haven't bought Bitcoin yet and you want help with that, please ask Rudy, ask me, ask any of the people who are in the space. Always double check. Always double check, that you're talking to Tay or you're talking to Rudy. Double check the links that you are connecting to. I know I'm one of the biggest proponents of non-custodial wallets. This year, the risk of non-custodial wallets was very high. A lot of money was lost on non-custodial wallets, especially by clicking on unauthorized link or clicking on malicious links. So perhaps it is time to reconsider maybe my position on non-custodial wallets. I think they serve a use case, but please be careful when interacting with them. A lot of people that I know have lost money, especially in December and in November when the Bitcoin rally started to pick up. A lot of crypto experts have lost money simply by clicking on fraudulent links. Always double check. Don't be in a rush. And I want to wish a Merry Christmas for everyone. The Happy New Year, we're gonna keep it for next week because I'll see you again.
Thank you, Tay. Have a good one. Have a great recovery. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Elias. Uh, thank you, John. Thank you, Lamia. And have a great one. See you next week.
See you next
And
week.
not just invest safely, trade safely. It's the season of a lot of spam and scam. So always watch out how you do it. Thank you. Have a great one and see you next week.